You sound great and you look great. Tell me how life has been since COVID.
It's been, life goes on. I've had some real issues. A lot of people have, the sad stuff. I lost a friend, not due to COVID. So that's life. And a lot of things are good for me. I'm lucky because I get to go out and perform. I get to go do stand up, and that's kind of what I've lived for. I didn't know it. I don't think I've loved stand up since 1995. This is seriously, it's really weird.
So did this give you like a whole new appreciation for it?
Yeah. And it's changed everything I do. It's a brand new, I have a new hour and 45 minutes or something. I won't be doing that long. At the club, the Comedy Zone, Mike Young, a good friend of mine, is opening, and he's a headliner in his own right, but I just love him. And so we're going to have shows, and we opened up a lot of places. We opened up the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. That was like a 7,000 seater that said, we're going to have 600 tonight. I went, that was before the vaccine and rules were a little stiffer. It's just so great to hear people laugh again. And I try not to choose political sides. I mean, some people, well, that's because you are an R-rated comedian. I don't know. I think I'm like a PG-19 right now.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people, they're like, okay, now he's not the Danny Tanner anymore. We saw this one special a long time ago and it was, kind of R-rated. So talk to me about what people can expect now with this new show.
Well, what people don't understand is Danny Tanner was acting. It was character. And I love Danny Tanner.
But you're like our dad.
I am. I really, look,
you're America's dad.
I have a dust cloth. I clean my glasses with microfiber. I have a dust buster 15 feet away from me. So I hug a lot. I have 3 daughters in life. I just went to very dark places in my comedy when I started doing stand-up when I was 17. So till I got a job was 13 years later. So I really always found, because my dad always found things that might be inappropriate to other people, we called them out to say how bad they were, kind of, is what the idea of it was. Yeah. But in retrospect, there's no way I would frame things or say things that I did 15 years ago on a special on HBO that people went, what? And it made a lot of people laugh too, because they knew that I'm a good person. So other people would watch something like my roast on Comedy Central, and some poor 12-year-olds are out there thinking that's the news. People, but that wasn't meant to be seen till after 11:30 at night. So it wasn't meant for kids. And so I always had, and Danny Tanner was acting, and I love it. I did the guy again. He grew up, he changed a little, but
Fuller House, yeah, we love it.
Fuller House had a good 5, 6. It was 6-year seasons, but it was really 5 years we did it, the whole thing in. And I love being with everybody. I have nothing but love for everyone.
Are you guys still close? Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
Everybody. I was trying to see Ashley Olsen in New York, and we couldn't, and we just did texting, because that's what we do. And then everybody texts, but my thumbs have gotten, so the new software on the phone my thumbs are, I got to shrink my thumbs. I have to lose weight in my thumbs.
I think you can make it larger.
You can, but then I see people doing it and I'm like, I'm not 90, My friend, it's Mike Young. Mike Young, the guy that's opening for me this Friday set tomorrow at the Comedy Zone. He's got giant, it's like one letter. I think that's all that's there. But I was with John Stamos again last Tuesday. So we're going to dinner this coming Tuesday with our wives. So it's, there's a lot of love between everybody.
Well, I do enjoy your TikTok videos. There was one of you, and I think it was like a voiceover where like, can you believe the person I'm with? And I thought, oh, he's going to show his beautiful wife. And there he was with John Stamos. And right. I love the bromance you guys have going on. It's great.
It's been going on forever. One day he called me like, I don't know, 15 years ago. And he said, hey, we're going to do a thing. We're in bed together and we're going to be hugging. We're going to be cuddling. It's going to be a cuddle video, and College Humor made it. And I said, okay. And then I'm laying in bed next to him, all in black sweatsuit. He's in a tank top like Uncle Jesse. He's all, and I'm like, please stop, make this stop. So all the behind the scenes is just me complaining and him laughing, because he loves when I complain.
Well, we enjoy it. We thoroughly enjoy it.
Thanks. It was for a non-for-profit called Project Cuddle, and that helps families find homes for abandoned babies.
That's amazing.
That's what that,
amazing.
oddly, we did that video in juxtaposition to the actual
Well,
good
if it
cause.
raises awareness and gets people to look at it and talk about it, it's great.
Right.
You're doing a lot though. I mean, you got your stand-up show, you got a podcast now. Talk to me about all the things that you're doing.
I started the podcast 2 months before the pandemic. And it is called, I'm going to say my name in a sentence, forgive me. It's Bob Saget's Here For You. And the idea was what it is, I talk to people, have conversations. Everybody has a podcast. Literally, I think everyone listening now has a podcast.
I love podcasts though.
I do too.
Yeah.
They're very informative. They give you what you're seeking, and who you like. You can find them. They have a podcast. So it's just interesting because I was calling people and see how they're doing. And that was happening before the pandemic because I was out touring and I felt, what's going on with everybody? I'm concerned about people. There's anger in the audience there. I was in a beautiful theater somewhere in the Midwest, and people started having a fight. Like 20 people were punching each other, and the security, it was a non-for-profit theater. So it was a beautiful theater with elderly ladies as the ushers, and they're saying, you got to stop it now, and people were punching. And actually Mike Young, who's going to be with me at the Comedy Zone, he stopped it. He kind of stopped it, and he called the police. We run our own ship, but it's a time that I wanted to do something that gave back, and it's something that I enjoy. I've always enjoyed talking. I was always on all the talk shows, and it's just something that I always had a facility for anyway. So I've gotten okay at it. I've done 114 episodes or something. So it's been over a year, and it's going through some real good growth right now, meaning we're going to have it removed. No, it's sorry. It's going through a nice morphing into, and the guests I've had, I love very much. Monday is Jason Alexander, and it's a lot of friends. And it's funny, you're doing better when Scott Bakula, I interviewed him. I don't call it an interview. I had a conversation with my old friend, and not old. He wouldn't like that. I'm forever young, except that I had dental work. Never mind. Anyway,
forever young.
But it's me, it's a pretty song.
Yeah.
But Scott, they end up, the news. What does the news say? Well, Scott Bakula told Bob on his podcast. I went, oh, that's quotable. The same thing happened with Tom Bergeron. He was talking about something else about Dancing with the Stars, and then that gets to the news. So they're listening, or they're having an intern transcribe it.
Do you find that in today's world, like it's almost with the podcast, like it's so important for us to just sit down and have conversations with one another?
Well, you're saying what I'm thinking, and that's why I started. That's why you do what you do. You're communicating to people, and you're helping them through their day. Yeah. And if you can, there was always that joke, not a joke, but if you can make one person happy, then you're a really bad comedian. But the truth of it is the truth. And I really do feel like more than in my whole life that I have a responsibility now. And I'm not as gallant. I don't know. I was wrong to do jokes that could be sensitive to people because I'm just this comedian that could do whatever he wants. And again, I had the family image of Danny Tanner, so that could be difficult. That doesn't mean you can set up anything you want to say. But now I'm so sensitive and feel so responsible for entertaining people and for making them feel for 1 hour or an hour and a half, whatever, or it's 2 hours for our show, but that you feel that you have something positive happen to you. And you were in a collective with other people, which is also scary for some people, but a lot not for others. And also, people are my audiences are pretty safe. I don't get a lot of people that are out there yelling or, complaining about masks or whatever. I want people just to be able to have their own lives and not get anybody sick if you can. So I make everybody wear it's kind of a mouth guard. Came up with my own little thing.
Yeah. Oh.
But the performers are in the danger because everyone's laughing. A comedian, especially, they're laughing into my mouth.
Especially if like you're a spit laugher. It's like.
And I talk too fast sometimes, so I could have a spit problem accidentally. After an hour, a globule has to come out, And I try to back up a little bit. I don't want anybody to hit any trajectory because I'm trying to breathe more too. So, yeah, so I don't do it.
And if people, I mean, talk to me about when people are together after this super difficult year for so many people. I mean, I can't even begin to name all the things that happened in the last year, year and a half, to be back on stage and see people come together in laughter.
Honestly, it's the most appreciative I've felt. And I've had more reason to know why I do this. I didn't set out to do it when I was 17. And the people are so appreciative. And it's been everywhere. It's literally, and I do music too. So I've got like 40 minutes to stand up, half an
You
hour
do
more.
music.
I've been
What
doing
kind of
music since
music
I
can we-
started. Comedy songs. Actually, one of my specials, it's called "That's What I'm Talking About," got nominated for a Grammy, and half of it was music. It's always been comedy songs.
Love
Like I don't know if you remember Martin Mull, who always did. I'm actually directing a documentary about him, and so it's really quite wonderful. He did the best comedy songs. There are a lot of great people, obviously. You got Randy Newman. You know, there's a million people that are great. Craig Robinson's really talented with comedy music, but I've been doing it since I started. And so that's a real entertaining thing for people, that they get a little bit of everything. So it's kind of like I'm not tap dancing or juggling, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
am.
you're acting, stand-up comedy, directing, podcasting. I mean, you like a lot going on, but you're going to be here in Charlotte this weekend, right?
Yep.
And you've
It's
been here before. You like
for
Charlotte?
30 years. 30 years I've been coming to your town before the Comedy Zone, unless they're going to tell me that I came there, but I don't know. But I love that club. It's a very, very special club.
I was going to ask you if you knew Mike Hall. He
Yeah.
passed away last year. You
Wait,
didn't know
I
that.
did not know that.
Yeah, or
Oh.
this year, and it was, I can't remember the
Oh,
date, but
God, I'm
anyway,
so sorry. I liked him so much.
yeah, we did a whole thing on, how many big name people he brought I'm sorry I was a person that told you that.
Well, at least you got it on camera. That's what everybody wants these days. But
Sorry, I'm not that
no,
person.
I'll tell you, I had a problem. I had to get dental work because I bit my lip because of a mask on the flight, and I was nervous and I hadn't slept. So I bit it, but that you can't bite your lip, people. It can clog up a saliva gland, and then they got to take it out.
Oh my gosh,
So that's what
really?
just happened. But I'll be fine by tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah.
this is like, I'm good. Yesterday I was a little more of the Elephant Man. I probably shouldn't have used that as a reference, but it's a great play and compassionate. But Mike Hall, I was in Charlotte. I was golfing and I chipped my tooth. That's part two of it. I actually chipped the tooth eating buffalo wings in my hotel room.
How do you chip a tooth eating buffalo wings?
Well, there's bones. And I didn't care.
Okay.
And when I saw, and these two, like, you need to know this. Your viewers are going to love this whole dental faction of my oral mouth surgery. And it was a bonded tooth. So the thing came off in the chicken wings. And I went, well, look, I've got a little corn nublet as a tooth right here. I'm just going to finish the chicken wings because what am I going to do? To start running around screaming. So I called Mike. Mike Hall took me to his dentist, who said, hey, I just got off the golf course and I had a beer, but don't worry about it.
And you let him.
I did, because I had no tooth. It would have been bad for the show. But now I got a lip problem. Charlotte does something to my mouth.
You
But
can work it into the comedy show.
believe me, I will. And I think it'll be pretty much gone. I don't think you can see it, right? You can't tell.
No, with the Zoom.
I'm going to stay on Zoom during the show. It's going to be great.
just zoom in. Yeah. No. Well, we can't wait to see you this weekend, Bob. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. And I finally got to say I met you virtually.
You did. If you come to the show, we could take a picture.
A picture, a selfie.
I'm not against a selfie if we're at least,
6
what is
feet
it?
apart.
I thought somebody told me it was 6 inches. I knew that was wrong. That was on the airplane where you're supposed to be 6 feet apart. I don't know
Right.
how that
But
applies.
you're all like this.
Exactly. Well, not me. I try to fly with the captain.
Yes. Right. We like that.
I
All
have
right.
more airplane material than I've ever had as a comedian. I never wanted to have it, but I have things that happen.
And
So,
we've had more stories about airplanes in the past year than we ever thought we would have.
and we've seen videos, and that's
Yeah.
one of my stories. So it's fascinating.
Oh, good. Awesome.